You represent the product. We talk about you all the time. Like, we're the sandwich generation, you know, where we are feeling this burden that in many instances, it's two households because mom and dad may no longer be together. So it's not just trying to figure out how do I take care of one parent, it's how am I going to support two? It's about, you know, I want to provide the best for my young children. I want them to have better than what I had. But that means, you know what, I'm paying more in my rent, or I'm paying more in my taxes, or I'm paying more for the school or for the activities that I could not have. And then I'm trying to make sure I can save too and participate in retirement benefits and maybe go on a trip and really have it together. Not the way I look like we have it together, but for real have it together. It's a real burden. And so what we can do and what we think about at TIAA is a few things. One, you know, we are doing a lot, you know, on the policy front, you know, as we think about the Secure Act or the Life Act, which provides, you know, some things like being able to have in-plan guaranteed income on the default so that when you apply, when you support your, you know, sign up for your benefits at go, you can have guaranteed income that you never run out of. Like, you know, could companies count as you're paying off your student debt? Could that count that towards contributing towards your retirement match? And so there's a lot of things that we are really advocating and supportive of policy, because policy matters. It matters in a real way. And then secondly, as I think about providing advice, you know, whether that's some of the advisors that are in the room, to really sit down and say, okay, I know I look like I have it all together, but here's the reality. The reality is, I'm stressed. The reality is I don't know how I'm doing all this. And I need some tips, I need some advice, I need to look at my entire financial statement without judgment. Because that to me is your next best action, to really sit down. Because that's a lot.
It didn't too much of my allocation. As you
talked
about that, I was like, wait a minute, where can I
exactly.
Back here and
you can.
There without, you know, they're creating a disparity.
Exactly right. For you, right? Which means you're going to transfer that to your children. Absolutely. And the cycle continues. And so I would say, you know, don't leave today without, you know, saying, hey, where are the advisors out? I need to schedule an appointment. Seriously. And then when I think about, you know, the other pieces, there's so many, you know, financial literacy, financial education, et cetera, that's available. But how do we at TIAA do our part to get proximate? And again, I think about Otis Brown. You know, I can't just tell, you know, Dad, go out, there's this great people that I'm trying to work. You know, so how do you make financial, is it just my daddy or is anybody else okay? Am I stepping on anybody's toes? Yeah, so how do we really make, you know, financial literacy actionable? How do we make it in a way that you can be the hero because you made a step? You know, how do we make it in a way that you have not discounted yourself so you don't get started? And so I think there's a real opportunity for us to work and partner with the University of Michigan and partner with your organization, which we are doing, to really think about how do you not just say financial literacy, but how do you have financial literacy with action for all different populations and segments? And so I just think what's the new chapter that I'm very passionate about is empathy. I think empathy is the future of leadership, whether it's navigating this pandemic, whether it's dealing with social injustice, whether it's getting proximate to people's balance sheets so that everybody, no matter who you are stressed and overwhelmed. How do you lead with empathy? And I think that as we think about financial tools, as we think about our advisors, as we think about how we communicate, there has to be this thread of empathy that says, I see you and it's okay. That says, you know what, come in and talk to me. You may not have $1 today, but you're still worthy and deserving of a conversation. You're still worthy and deserving of a next best action. And so how do we take that it's not just for the people that have already made it, that this financial engagement, these tools are for you exactly where you are. We have to demystify this, because if we don't, we're not gonna close this gap. We will transfer the burden to our loved ones. That's what I know for sure, unless we do something with real intentionality and understand what's at stake. So it's taking that next best action.